Okay, family, we are live. Welcome to the Youthful Perspective. I am your host, Brother Fatir Muhammad. Let's get started with our show. Family, I have with me my brother, uh, brother Fahiym. Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Yes, sir. Walaikum salam. OG.
Yes, sir. This brother's from the 5% Nation, and what me and my brother are going to do, we're going to have a discussion on brother Young Dolph's murder. It is unfortunate what happened to our brother, and we send our condolences. And what we hope to do is to have a discussion about it, and hopefully we can be able to give advice to our young brothers and sisters coming up of how we should move. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
brother, if you would like to give your perspective on what you think about that, brother, you could go ahead.
I mean, I think it's a terrible situation. I mean, I heard about it today when I was at my job, and a couple of the young brothers was in there talking about it, and it's like the word started to go around, and I didn't really jump on the conversation or whatever when I first heard it because sometimes it could be rumors, sometimes it may not be accurate. But after about an hour, 2 hours went by, and I jumped on social media, typed it in because it's still a hot new developing story even still now. But then it was like nothing on the internet. But then about an hour and a half later, I went on there and I just started seeing a lot of just different posts where people and mainly news where journalists were talking about it. They were out there in Memphis and just in the area where he was gunned down or whatever, and just basically just talking about the type of individual he was to the community. And I didn't know he was originally from Chicago, but they said he moved to Memphis when he was like 2 years old or something like that. And pretty much he was, real, had a lot of zeal when it came to repping his hood, Memphis, Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? But it's just an unfortunate situation that, a young brother is, murdered, again, you know what I'm saying? And although the brother was, I think they said 35 or 36 or something like that, his age, but at the end of the day, that's still young. You know what I'm saying? To be losing your life in that type of, manner. So yeah, I think it was a real tragic situation, brother.
Yes, if I may give my input on it, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teach us that black people, we as black people have been robbed of a knowledge of ourselves. And when we are robbed of a knowledge of selves, we do things that we should not do, and that is wrong. So naturally, when a person is out of their mind, you can't fully blame them the way you want to blame them. You have to realize, well, if this black man and woman, or if this person is robbed of a knowledge of self, how did he get that way? And once you find out how
Mm,
he get that way, you must go to the source. And if a person has robbed that person of a knowledge of self, then that must go to the person who put he or she in that position. We as black people have
mhm,
been robbed of the knowledge of self by our 400-year-old enemy. And so naturally, being robbed by taking us from our ancestors and our forefathers, what the white man did was he enslaved our minds and made us do what he wanted to do, what he wanted us to do. He made the boxing thing, and he would use boxing, have black people fight against one another, almost to the point sometimes where they possibly could kill one another. Um, Make us hate one another. I don't know if you heard of Willie Lynch, brother Willie Lynch. Pardon me, not brother. That devil Willie Lynch. He talked on that. He talked on the slave. He talked on the making of a slave. I want to
mhm,
see if I can find that for you.
mhm,
Willie Lynch.
mhm.
Willie Lynch letter.
I was gonna say real quick too, brother. Like your screen is like kind of it blurs every now and then it gets back clear. It kind of blurs, then it gets back clear. Like the pixels in your,
I kind
I
of
don't know if you.
see something like that over on your end too, but um,
Oh,
that's probably the enemy, probably just playing around. Okay,
yes, sir.
in a Final Call newspaper, this was updated in finalcall.com news. This was put
Mhm.
out in May 22nd, 2009, and it's dealing with Willie Lynch letter, The Making of a Slave.
Mm.
It says this. This speech was said to have been delivered by Willie Lynch on the bank of the James River in the colony of Virginia in 1712. Lynch was a British slave owner in the West Indies. He was invited to the colony of Virginia in 1712 to teach his methods to the slave owners here. Okay. He goes, I'm going to skip some because he basically just introducing himself. We don't need to go into that. He says here,
Mhm.
in my bag here, I have a foolproof method for controlling your black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. My method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves, and I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. Take this simple little list of differences and think about them. On the top of my list is age, but it is only there because it starts with an A. The second is color or shade. There is intelligence, size, sex, sizes of plantations, status on plantations, attitude of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley or a hill, east, west, north, south, have fine hair, coarse hair, or is taller or short. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of auction. But before that, I shall assure you that this trust, that this trust is stronger than trust, and envy stronger than adulation, respect, or admiration. So what he's talking about is put envy among the slaves, divide them by sex. So meaning that have them feel like they're better than each other because of sex. Like if you notice, they would make the darker people, darker blacks, and the light-skinned blacks feel like the light-skinned blacks make them feel like they're better than the darker skin, and make the darker skin feel like they're lower. So then that causes the dark and the light skin to fight against one another. So this is what transports. What I'm saying is this: Caucasian people have downloaded a mind of black inferiority to make us hate ourselves and make us feel like we are superior because of sex or because of uh you know bigness. Sometimes bully, that's where bullying can come from. All of this is coming from our enemy. So naturally, when this happens, it makes us kill one another because we hate ourselves and because we sometimes want to act like we are better. Not because that's our nature, but because we have been messed up by our enemy. So the white man has taught us that you better like this and you better than this. And he'll try to make a type of side, the Crip and the blood and whatever. You know what I mean? So we think that this side is better than your side. So we want to, you see the difference? You see the difference? The
Yeah.
envy. My side is better than your side. So we shoot one another and we kill one another. So I close this point with this. Brother Young Dolph was killed. We don't know all the details. According to what was said, man pulled up and shot him. But a Young Dolph has been rapping some things that our brother should not rap, but that is not his fault. You naturally would say, as I heard you say, that some people have said, well, he was a disgrace, did credit to his community and stuff like that. But really, you gotta look at the bigger picture. Who signed Young Dolph's contract? Who was behind him? Who told him to make those songs? Who is above his record industry? Who is above his records? Who controls his records? Huh? It ain't Young Dolph. It's 10%. The so-called Jews. Right. They are our enemies. They try to mess up our minds by using movies, rap, and songs. They are the ones responsible for making our women act the way they act, take off their clothes, shake their behinds. They are the ones that make our men kill one another, talking about, I'm going to shoot another one here, I'm going to shoot another one here, and then cause them to murder and kill one another. See? So we can't look at this emotionally. We got to rise above emotion and see who did this. And this happened to be our enemy. He likes to do his evil by his hand. So you can't get mad at Young Dolph. For Young Dolph was tricked by our enemy. So if anyone is going to be put to blame, it is our enemy. Yes, sir.
You're right. That's the actual fact, God. You know what I'm saying? How old you said you were again, brothers? 17, 16, 17?
I'm 16. 16.
Yeah. I mean, I would have never thought, you know what I mean? You were 16, you know, you way more enlightened than I was at 16, you know, because see, at 16, I was one of those individuals like what we talking about, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
who was manipulated by the enemy, you know, and was just on a path of destruction. You know, back like during the mid 80s when I was like your age, I think this was like what, like 86, 87, you know, crack first hit the streets and it was real crazy. I know you hear stories about that and, you know, and it's like a lot of these young rappers today, if you're not at least 40 years old, not even, if you're not at least 45 years old, like, what do you know about the crack era? You know what I'm saying? You know, and sometimes I listen to a lot of these young rappers, you know, that's like teenagers or in their early 20s, early mid 20s, or even 30. And it's like, you wasn't born back in 85, 86, 87 when, you know, dudes was really wilding out. Like, the beast really had us fooled because my mentality back then, and this is the reason why I said you more intelligent than I was back then, because my mentality back then was, yo, I could sell this crack. Yo, I could sell this forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I could do this forever. I'm making more money than my moms and my pops, and I'm only 15, 16, 17 years old. You know what I'm saying? So the manipulation was there from the beginning to get our young brothers involved with this evil type of lifestyle. And the thing about it is, it's like, you know, when you look at a lot of the rappers today, like I was saying just a few minutes ago, they rap about this type of lifestyle, but they weren't even around at that time. So when it's like, when I hear rappers talking about, I'm whip it, yeah, whip it, you know, and they and all this, and they whipping it, and they, you know, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're promoting death, and you don't even know it, because during that time, during the crack era, you see like what Chicago is right now, with all of the killing and stuff like that, that was New York back in the mid 80s and the early 90s. That was New York City. And that was when I had to bounce from New York and I came down south, because of course down here, they wasn't really wilding with the gunplay like that, like in New York. You see what I'm saying? So you a wise brother, you know what I'm saying, to really understand, you know, like the Willie Lynch syndrome, and you know, I hear a lot of people sometimes in the conscious community debate about that whole Willie Lynch letter, and they say, is it, you know, they question the authenticity of it. Is it an actual document? Was there really a man by the name of Willie Lynch? And, you know, did he really pull a bag of tricks out of the bag and make us conform to his ways? The thing about it is whether that's real or not. The thing is the psychological effect that the letter is telling us, that's real. 100%.
Yes.
Because we can see the old against the young, the, you know, the age difference, the color difference. I'm light skinned, I'm dark skinned, I'm, you know, I'm from over here, you from over there. You know what I'm saying? You know, tribalism. We see it. You know what I'm saying? And this was created and given to us by the enemy. So for you to be able to point that out, that's really sharp of you. You were gonna say something real quick?
Yes, sir. You know, what we like to do as black people, we depend on our enemy. And I'm not saying that, you know, we should just automatically assume things. But you don't go to white folks and, like, if they talk about Christmas or Halloween, Brother Abdul said something like that. I'm only putting in my own words, but he said something like that. He said, when white folks told you certain things, you didn't say, hey, what's the proof of that? When white folks told you about worshiping a dang Christmas tree and Jesus was supposed to support Christmas and he made Christmas, you and I didn't ask him, hey, white man, where's the proof? Show me the Bible where it said that. Nah. Nah, see?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Why is it that when a black man comes with truth and it makes sense of how they murdering us and destroying us, you say, where's your proof? So in other words, you basically saying, where is saying white folks? Where white folks say? See? You gotta get white folks approval of everything. See? Right. Instead of trusting your black self. You know what I mean? We've been trusting white folks all our lives, and where the heck that got us?
Yeah. One thing that's real. Go ahead.
And I just want to say this, you know, the Bible in 10:2, I think it is, the 10th chapter, the 2nd verse says, "Follow not the ways of the heathen, and that is an idol worshiper or idolater. And an idolater means someone who worships idols besides God.
Idolatry, yeah.
Jesus never said any of that. So when you read this stuff in the Bible, you never ask white folks, hey, what is this? Because naturally you think, oh, everything that Master says, it's truth. So you basically just say, okay, I'm just gonna take his word for it. But if a black man comes to you and tell you some truth, you don't want to take it. You know what I mean? So that's basically what this is. You know what I mean? Brother Young Dolph, what I want to say is that Brother Young Dolph is a brother who had a good heart, but it was being destroyed by our enemy. And the enemy likes to do his evil and have us battle against one another, you know? So we got to keep an eye on our enemy. Right. The enemy's hand is somewhere involved.
Yeah, I think that chapter that you quoted, you said that 10th chapter, that was in the book of Jeremiah, I believe, in the 10th chapter that you quoted. Yes, sir. Yeah. I mean, you know, I remember when I first began studying the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you know, just coming into the Nation of Islam and studying with the Brotherhood when I was in federal prison. And, you know, like I said, I'm still 5%, but I'm still Nation of Islam, 5% Nation of Islam. You know, there's different sects of 5%ers, but I'm 5% Nation of Islam. But it's real funny because, you know, like my mom's, her family is from here, you know, down here where I'm at now in Georgia. And it's like, when I first got knowledge of self, when I was like 22, 23 years old, and I would come down south and I'd talk to my cousins or, you know, my aunts or just people I know down here, and they would always be like, man, that That's all y'all do in the Nation of Islam. Y'all talk about the white man, the white man. Why y'all always got to blame the white man? The white man, you know, and it's like, that was one of the things they would always say. But I told, you know, someone one time that asked me that, I said, it's real funny because on the outside looking in, you may look at the students of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and say, all y'all talk about is the white man. All y'all do is talk about the white man. But when you come into the fold of the brotherhood and the sisterhood within the Nation of Islam, we don't really be talking about the white man like that. We mostly be talking about, look at the black man. Look at you, black man. Look at what you're doing, black man. Look at what the white man got you doing, black man. This is how the rhetoric changes. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So we have to focus on ourselves. We have to discipline ourselves because this devil has had us enslaved for over 300 and some odd years. And on that plantation, as you mentioned, the Willie Lynch syndrome, on that plantation, we were turned inside out and upside down. So we were taught to look at differences with each other and magnify those differences so that now we can begin beefing over those differences. And so in the hood, just like, you know, the plantation, back in the days, there was bullies on the plantation. There was black dudes on the plantation slapping other dudes around like, yeah, get over there, nigga, yeah, yeah. But when the white man come, guess what he do? He tuck his tail. You see what I'm saying? I believe Dr. Wesley Muhammad one time talked about the epsilon, you know, male from the alpha male. And, you know, he mentioned the bully coon, you know, and a bully coon was someone who did just that. They would always, you know, be the big bad wolf among their own people, among the other Negroes, the other slaves. But of course, when the white man come in the room, they tuck their head down and they you know what I'm saying, there's no problem with the white man. So the same thing, we've been taught this way through a process or a system of slavery. And the same thing with just being tough and stuff like that to individuals. The same thing goes with scholarship. If a black man comes and tells another black man, like how you may tell a brother something of virtue, something that's good, he may say, nah, because guess what? I want the white man's validation. If the white man didn't say it, then guess what? I don't believe you, nigga. The white man ain't say that. So what are you doing saying that? Because we were always taught that we're not intelligent people. You shouldn't even be thinking along those lines. So we always look for the beast to come and give us validation, you know what I'm saying, when nothing he says, as you mentioned, is scrutinized. Nothing. He told us about the boogeyman up in the sky. We believed it. Didn't even question him on it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's just the problem with us. It's like, you know, just in this whole new awakening conscious paradigm that we're in, one of the things that we have to start doing is have a love for ourselves. You know, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, both of these individuals gave us programs that work, that actually work, and we see the results of them working. So there's no need for us to get validation from the beast, because of course you know what he's going to say about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So as I heard Brother Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad say one time, whoever the enemy tells you to stay away from, don't go near that man, he's evil or whatever, guess what? You need to run and jump on that man and hug tight to him. But whoever the white man tells you, yeah, you should follow him, he's a good man, that's a good Negro right there, that's the, guess what? We need to find that nigga and kill him.
Yeah. Let me say this. Let me say this. You know, reference. Just want to say this. You know, you was talking on the white man. You know, the reason why we bring up the white man is not necessarily to just point out just the white man and not look at ourselves. We do have some responsibility, but that's not an excuse. The white man did actually do all this stuff to us. But
yeah, of course,
We do at the same time have to look at self. But let me say this, you know, to those who say that, you know, you don't say that because it's true. All y'all talk about is the white man. Well, it's necessary for us to talk about the white man, but that's not the only thing we talk about. Y'all just say that because y'all don't want to accept the truth. The Honorable Minister Farrakhan has many other subjects about self-improvement. He has lectures about how to eat to live. Y'all don't want to listen to none of that stuff. In fact, y'all say, well, where the white man say that? What's the proof of that? See, y'all say all y'all talk about is the white man. Let me explain why. Because some of you like that white woman. Some of you like to be with the white man. Some of you like to be with white people and want to integrate with them. So when we are talking like that, we exposing you, we exposing the enemy. So naturally, you don't want that to be in your consciousness. So you try to use that excuse, even though in a way it's true. But then again, it's not. We don't just talk about the white man. Although when we come in as students, that may be our vibe, but we have to grow. It is not just to point out white people and not look at ourselves. And it's not the job for us to be macho and put on what white folks have put on us. However, it is to destroy the mindset of white supremacy. We can't just act like white supremacy don't exist. White supremacy does exist because it manifests through us. So if you was able to say, y'all looking at white folks but not looking at yourself, maybe y'all would have had us. But you can't accuse us of that. If you would have said, if you can find out and say if this was true, if you would have said, well, y'all talk about white people but not talk about yourself, and if it was true, maybe you would have had us. However, we do not just talk on white people. When we say white folks, we say what they did to us and what we doing to one another and how we need to change. See, some people like to talk about the white man but don't change their own self. See, that's when we gotta look at self. So some people just say y'all talk on the white man too much because they want to be with master. And for those who want to do that, God's gonna destroy them. But let me say this, you know, through respect to brother, the late great Dr. Khalid Muhammad. You know, we love the brother, and he has done so much good for the black nation and for the nation of Islam, and we will continue to honor him and love him. However, Brother Khalid, you know, operates, sometimes he would operate on guns and operate on killing. We as black people do not need no killing. We need a healing. Now, if you could say, if the white man tells you, go get that Negro, go hug him. Now you can say you run away from him, or you could say condemn him with the truth. But we're not trying to kill nobody, you know what I mean? See, you gotta come at the mindset. See, what my brother Khalid didn't realize was it's the mindset. You can kill flesh, but if you don't go to the root of things, it doesn't matter how many white folks you kill or even how many sellouts you kill. Now, one day a time is going to come for that, but it's not that time now. We are operating on principalities and powers. So if the mindset of white people doesn't die in them and don't die in us, they will continue to live. The Honorable Minister Farrakhan said in self-improvement, he said, if every white person died today, you would still be in trouble because they downloaded their mindset in you. So my brother Khalid should have never made that comment. You know what I mean? I can understand how he feels and how he's a revolutionary, and we are revolutionaries, but we revolutionaries by the spiritual, by the word. See, if you look at the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, Minister Farrakhan is a warrior, but he don't go by the gun. He don't go by the revolution of this world, because white folk got the guns. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, you know, you talk about, man, trying to get these guns and you want to shoot the white man, but the guns come from the white man. The white man ain't going to give you the guns. Even Muhammad Ali said it. Let's give you an example. Some of the students, Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali said this. He said, we would be foolish to want to go ahead and shoot white America. We don't really have guns. We don't really have food. How are we going to be able to eat if we don't have our own farmland? If we don't have our own businesses. And if we go ahead and fight white people can say, okay, they're our enemies, so now we're going to take their food, we're going to take all this, take all that. And we wouldn't be prepared. The way we eat 3 times a day, we, excuse me, we wouldn't be able to survive against white people. The weapons, you know what I mean? We would have to get the weapons from white folks. And white folks got superior weapons. They ain't going to allow you to get the weapons. Even if they did, that would be because they have bigger weapons to be able to attack you. I'm paraphrasing what he's saying. I'm really, you know, explaining it more. If they would allow you to have the weapons, they have bigger weapons. They have bazookas. They have helicopter gunships. They have all that military stuff. And they feel like you are a direct enemy, that they will use all their power to destroy you. This person, this man done murdered foreign countries in Iraq, and destroyed Muammar Gaddafi and other, you know, things he has done. You're not dealing with a stupid devil. You're dealing with a wise enemy. And he has been prepared to fight us. You can't go ahead and say, let's go ahead and kill the white man, and we ain't got no weapons, and the weapons we trying to get that come from him, and he go ahead and we easily kill one another. That'd be a suicide. You might win a couple times, but when the white man really see you a target, all he gotta do is throw a helicopter gunship or throw a smoke tank, or one of the smoke things, right? And you end up coughing and stuff like that, all the other stuff. And man, all that black power stuff, that stuff with the gun, that's going to end. You need a superior weapon. It's true we need to fight the white man at a certain point physical, but how you going to fight him and you don't got a superior weapon? And we as members of the Nation of Islam have a superior weapon. It's Allah in person. He has the forces of nature. He's got the mother plane. The mother plane, it be showing, there be people who record it. And the sky can just be nighttime, and all of a sudden it can look like it's blue, and all of a sudden it's back to nighttime. People have seen these UFOs, and they're here to fight for us. If only we would just go behind Minister Farrakhan and go ahead and let the white man and let our God destroy our enemy. But because we get in the way, God can't demonstrate his power. And some of you may say, well, see, how come God ain't getting us out here now? You know why? Because you still ain't learned your lesson. You still ain't trying to separate from white folks. If God was able to get all the white folks out of the place, right, you would think, oh, yeah, that's for good white people. So you would try. If God was trying to destroy a lot of them, or almost all of them, you would be like, oh, no, this white girl, I love this white girl. I love this, I love that. Even though some of them are good, but you trying to integrate with them. Now, I don't want you to integrate with white folks. So, God got to teach you. So that means Satan can take advantage of that. Because God got to wait and teach us that he can destroy our enemies. Because God don't want to destroy us, but at a certain point, if we don't follow God's will, he's going to destroy us. So, the enemy, when we kill one another, we are making Satan's rule a little longer. He has extra time to get grace. So while God is teaching us, Satan can say, okay, in chess. While God is doing that, I can continue to murder them. I can continue to shoot them. And you can't get mad at the white man. You can't get mad at God. You got to get mad at yourself. Because if you would just do better for yourself, then all this stuff would happen overnight. Minister Farrakhan said, man, y'all, if it's your fault, I hope I'm saying it right. It's my time, sound the final call is over. He said, it's just about up. God is going to whoop your behind because we could have been free. He said we could have been free, but you just want to continue to go in your sins and words and play around with the enemy and don't want to change. So he said that I'm one of the clearest teachers that ever been spoken on the planet Earth. And if you don't hear me, death and destruction will come on you. And that's what's happening. See, you hear Farrakhan. Farrakhan get ready to speak in December 4th. And I say, yeah, that's Farrakhan. You want to hear him? Go ahead, man. Teach. But when Farrakhan said, do not stop the killing, we ain't going to do that. We'll do it for probably 5 seconds. But once the minister backs up, back shooting, back killing, back killing. You think God don't see that stuff? So God is, you can't blame our enemy. You got to blame yourself at a certain point. So
Yeah,
Brother, I'm gonna
business
allow
back
you
to
to say.
business, back to business as usual.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, if there's any closing words you would like to say, once you say that, I'm going to play some word of guidance from the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, and then we're gonna close out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you pretty much summed it up. At the end of the day, it's like, Allah wants to destroy, his natural enemy. That's the plan. But it's like we kind of stand in the way of that by killing ourselves in the way that we're doing it. And I think there's a scripture in the Bible, in the Old Testament, where I think the scripture says, because the children of Israel didn't hear Moses or didn't adhere to Moses, it said that God sent fiery serpents to bite the children of Israel. So those fiery serpents only represent the Caucasian white man, you know what I'm saying? The beast himself, the devil himself, you know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is they love killing black folk. They love killing, period. White people love hunting, and a lot of them are just sitting back, loading up their guns, shining them up, oiling them up, just waiting on the day for, kill niggers. That's it. And they boom, boom, it's target practice. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna go out there and they just gonna go ham. So, people like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and wise people among us see this. They see this day coming. And they're trying to admonish us that, we have to unite with one another. We have to stop this tribalism. We have to stop this set tripping. We have to stop this, this foolishness that we're doing, because it's only gonna, warrant the destruction and the wrath of Almighty God Allah down on the enemy and on his people too, because he has no problem killing his people if you are wrapped up with the enemy. So, just in knowing that, brother, we want to just, fast and pray Allah that, he guides us, you know what I'm saying, throughout this, these next few years, because it's going to be tough, this with this mandate stuff now, the beast is like, making people get jabbed up, for no reason, and, we can see the effects of that. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I don't think the mandate thing is going to persist, because, the more and more firefighters, police officers, doctors, nurses, the more people like that, professional people like that leave their jobs, it makes it more, detrimental for, for society. So I don't think it's going to uphold, you know what I'm saying? But in the meantime, we know that we have to follow the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and his guidance that he gave us in fasting and making sure we rid our body of toxins, keep our mask on when we're in crowded places among a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, man, just congregate with your brothers, your righteous brothers and your righteous sisters, because that's your family. As I close, as Jesus says in the Bible, when they came one day and asked him, they said, Jesus, hey, there go your moms, there go your mother and your brother. And he said, who's my mother and my brother? He said, thou art, my family, people who are A alike, B alike, C alike, like-minded individuals, that's my family. So at the end of the day, the righteous should be with the righteous, and we should always be encouraging one another to, follow in the ways of righteousness. So with that being said, brother, like I said, I thank you for, bringing me on your program. And like I said, we definitely got to have some future bills, inshallah, because the youth need to hear a voice like yours, a powerful, strong black voice like yours. Yes, sir.
It's my honor to be able to continue